Hello and welcome back to the Pixel Street podcast. This is episode 245?
6.
46? 246 of the show. I'm confusing myself here. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Joel Campos, and joining me is the one, the only, the Nightmare Before Christmas himself, John Hanson.
Heyo.
John, I liked your
You know,
daughter's costume. You sent me a picture of
thank
it,
you.
or you posted it on Snapchat? I can't remember. But I feel like
Yeah.
that was like a proud dad moment for you. Like that's like
Yeah.
like when you nerd out. Like for me, I nerd out about Halo stuff, right? And like the
hmm
goal for me is to have a kid to one day want to dress up as the Master Chief for Halloween. So like I feel
Yeah.
like for you that's like an all time moment.
Yeah. So, my daughter dressed up as Jack Skellington. Here, I'll pull up a. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, she wanted to dress up as Jack Skellington last year for Halloween, but she was sick during the fall months. She's always getting sick because of her asthma and stuff. Uh, so she missed trick or treat last year. So she wore it this year. It still fit, and yeah, it was my first time putting face paint on anyone, and that was fun. So I got to make a
Dude,
Jack face.
I hate face paint. I hate the smell of it. I hate the way it feels when you put it on your face. Granted, I know you're putting it on your daughter's face, but still,
hmm
I can't stand it.
I don't know. I've never had it on. But yeah, it was fun. I got to paint that on her, and she had a good time. Unfortunately, here it was like 30 degrees the day of trick or
Same
treat, so
here. It was
we
real
only went
cold.
out. We only were out for like a half hour, and then we just hung out at our grandma's place and chilled. Yeah, it was fun though.
Cool. Cool, cool. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Sorry, I was confused. Sorry, you can follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Check out our YouTube channel, Pixel Street Videos, over there, where you can find all of our podcasts, let's plays, unboxings, and whatever else we feel like posting. Sometimes John likes to post guides for things that he finds really dumb, in terms of like really dumb that it's that easy to do but not shown anywhere. Like our MLB The Show review, our guide that John posts every year and gets thousands of views every year.
I didn't this year,
Well, next
but
year. Next year.
maybe next year. If it keeps
um,
working, might as well, right?
yeah, and on Twitter you can also find our pinned tweet to join our Discord. Come hang out, say what's up, tell us what you're playing, tell us what you want to play, invite us to play games, all the good stuff. Um, yeah,
I
our
am
main
real
topics,
real
John.
quick, Joel. I got some new glasses this last week, and I am realizing they are so reflective compared to
Yeah,
the
I
ones
mean,
I
like
used to
look at
have.
like you can't even see my eyes half the time we're podcasting because it's just
Yeah,
so reflect. I don't know. Like, is there a solution to this?
I don't know. It's because I have my old ones right here, the broken ones, and like
Are
those
they the
ones,
exact same frames? They look exactly the same
mm,
to me.
they look close. These ones are thinner. They're not
Gotcha.
as wide. Um, yeah,
I don't
I
know
don't
how
get
you
that.
combat that. Just look down like
Yeah,
this the whole time.
yeah. I'm looking down at all you people.
um, but yeah, let's just get right into our main topics. Big one for you, John, this week. Nintendo has come out and just straight up said that there is a live action Legend of Zelda movie in production.
Yeah,
I
very
I
exciting.
don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I'm not a big
I'm
Legend of Zelda fan, but me being a huge Halo fan and seeing what they did with the live action series of that, um, it just like it could be hit or miss, right? Because you got shows like Twisted Metal that kind of did their own thing and was all right. Like, I don't think people's views on it were negative. I just think it was either you really liked it or you're just like, oh yeah, it was okay. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like video game, like movies and TV shows right now are in such a weird place to where like it could be amazing or it could be the worst thing you've ever seen in your life.
I would say video game movies and TV shows right now, a lot more of them are good than bad. Like, I think we are firmly in a spot now where we can stop calling every single video game adaptation into a movie or TV show that we can just stop assuming that it's going to be bad at this point. It's been years now that we've gotten a lot of good stuff. Of course, there's always going to be like bad things that come out, but like that you could say that about any kind of movie, really. So I'm confident that the Zelda movie will be good. One, because it's a Zelda movie and Nintendo is really in on it. Like they are, it's the same thing with the Mario movie. Shigeru Miyamoto is going to have a say in everything that happens. I would hope that AG Al-Numa would as well, but there was no mention of him in the press release. Sony Pictures is going to be financing half of the movie, and they will be taking care of like the theater distribution. I don't know what that's all about. The director is Wes Ball, who I looked him up, and the only directing experience he has is he did the Maze Runner trilogy, and he also directed the new Planet of the Apes movie that comes out next year. So, not the most high profile director, but I think people like the Maze Runner movies, and also, I mean, Planet of the Apes. I mean, it hasn't come out, but people like that series. So if that series can grab him, why can't Zelda? So I'm excited for this. Yeah, I don't.
My sorry, I was gonna say my one worry is that Legend of Zelda fans, like there are so many of them, and like they're so, I guess, picky about stuff, right? But like the IP and like stuff being canon versus not canon, we're like, I feel like if they slip up on one small thing, like Link's attire or something, right? Like somebody's gonna be like, "Oh no, actually he couldn't wear that because in this universe that they're in the time period or whatever." I don't know. I just feel like no matter what they do, people are gonna nitpick the shit out of it.
See, I actually don't think so because the Zelda, every single Zelda game, not every single one, there are a couple sequels, but every single one takes place in a different timeline with a different version of Link, Zelda, and Ganon. Breath of the Wild, it's a different Link than Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past and all these other ones. It's the whole story is that these people keep being reincarnated and they're kind of bound together that they're gonna clash again at some point. Um, yeah, I think I don't think this movie will be based on any game in particular. I think it's going to be a completely original story. With that in mind, I think it's still going to be like Ganon's threatening to take over the world, capture Zelda. Link has to travel, and he'll have a companion beside him to save her and Hyrule. Um, I think the companion will be someone new to the series, and I think that's how they'll get like most of the talking stuff out of the way. Link can talk in the games. He does say things, but because the game is putting you in his shoes, they're like, "Oh, you are Link in this position." It pretty much your answers to like different dialogue stuff is what he's saying, and it doesn't like actually show that. So Link can talk. I just hope that they don't make him talk too much because I want a quiet protagonist for this. I don't, not like mute, but like he doesn't have too much to say. Like a lot of what he does is done through his actions and his
It would
companion
be
character.
weird. It would be really weird if Link said nothing the whole movie. Like
Yeah,
really weird.
yeah, no, he has to say something, but I don't think he's gonna talk too much. I think he's gonna be there. He'll be the knight in shining armor, but the companion will be the main person to like talk throughout the movie. I think. Um, as for who we don't know who is starring in it yet. We don't know any actors. Uh, one of the guys on the Game Sandwich team keeps saying that he doesn't want to see Tom Holland in it, and I'm like, I don't care. I like Tom Holland. I'd be fine with that. I don't know who else could play him. Like, because this is a live action movie, it's not animated. You need someone that at least somewhat looks like Link.
In my
And
head, in my head, I'm picturing somebody that like, if you said their name right now, me and you probably wouldn't know who it is. But when we looked up, but I feel like it'd be somebody we don't know who it is. But when we looked up what they've done, we'd be like, oh, that's that person from this thing that I've seen,
yeah,
an episode or two of, or I've seen clips of that show or movie on Twitter. That would be my guess because like I don't think that you immediately want to attach a huge name to something like this. Like I get why you would like marketing wise want to put somebody like Tom Holland for example, just because like of his portfolio and stuff. But at the same time, like, I don't know, you don't want to commit that hard to it, I guess.
They did with Mario. I think they're going to again with Zelda. Who's the one guy that everyone keeps talking about these days? Timothy Chalamet, is that his name?
Timothy Chalamet. Yeah, I hear the name. I don't know who the fuck it is.
I just know that he's a kind of you can't get someone who's too built because Link is always either a young adult or a teenager. So
Oh,
they need
sorry. Timothy Chalamet is from Dune, the movie
yes,
Dune.
yes. Does he look like someone that could maybe do it? I don't know.
I mean, they'd probably give him a wig or have blackish brown hair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about the hair thing.
The thing
In the
is,
link
the
to
thing
the
is,
in
it's
the
like
link to the past, Link had pink hair. It doesn't matter. And
true, but
his hair
again,
also changes
again,
from
I
blonde
think
to brunette.
I think people are gonna nitpick every little thing, right?
That's
Whereas
okay.
if
That's
they give him a
fandoms.
wig, if they
That's
give him a
fandoms.
wig,
Who the fuck
people are
cares?
gonna be like, "Oh, it's so obvious that that's a wig." If they don't give him a wig, they're gonna be like, "Why the fuck is his hair brown and not like blondish?"
I don't care. Every single movie has some kind of fandom that is gonna nitpick, but I don't think that's a big issue. Just give me a mostly quiet protagonist. Make Zelda awesome. Don't make her as like girl boss as Peach was in the Mario movie. Like I want a Zelda that is like thoughtful and uh not just like going out looking for a fight. Zelda is not that kind of character. She's very much I mean, her whole thing is the Triforce of Wisdom. She thinks things out. She has all these mystical powers. Ganon, I you just need to get a really tall, muscular guy. Maybe The Rock will be Ganon. Maybe
Batista.
Jason, Jason Momoa. I think Batista's pretty short, isn't he?
I mean, they could portray him however they want in the movies.
Yeah, they could. Um, yeah. Whenever I just hear Batista, I think of a Gears of War kind of movie.
I mean, he
Yeah,
looks huge in Guardians of the Galaxy.
eh, he looks more just beefy than tall, I think. Regardless, I'm very excited for this. I think this is huge news. I have faith in Nintendo after the Mario movie. I think they won't let this movie go astray. I think they'll do everything they can to make it good. Um, yeah. So I'm excited. It's my favorite game series of all time. I look at all the other video game stuff we've gotten recently, and I just all the adaptation stuff that we've gotten recently, and I'm just like, I have a lot more faith in this than I would have, let's say, 8 years ago. Because in
What do
that
you think
time we
this movie's rated? You think it's got to be rated E, right, or whatever,
PG,
PG-13 or just PG?
nah, just PG. I
I
don't
mean, like
know.
we've
I
seen
don't
what they
know.
did with Mario, right? They went the animated route. I'm curious to see what they do live action. You know what I mean? Because Mario movie was great.
Yeah,
So I'm really curious to see what they do on the live action side of things.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, they're not gonna show like Link covered in blood or anything.
no, I'm aware, John. I'm just wondering, like in general, right? Like how the production looks and everything. Um, I do have a question though. If this is good, what other Nintendo franchises would you like to see a live action movie be made of?
Specifically a live action one.
Yeah,
Well,
live action specifically. Because there are a lot of Nintendo franchises that I feel like would not do well live action.
this is a cheat, but give me another Pokemon movie.
Yeah,
But
that's kind of cheating.
if we're not including Pokemon for live action,
F-Zero?
pro- no, probably Metroid. I'm not
Metroid's a
even
good
a.
one.
I would probably say Metroid. Because if I think of like
John, you don't want a
Kirby.
Kirby live action?
No, Kirby would be animated.
You don't want to see him eat a fucking Honda Civic on the streets of New York?
No, just let me see that animated. Um, that or a Punch Out movie would be pretty cool live action, I guess.
Like rising the ranks as a nobody kind of
Hmm.
thing?
Yeah,
That would be interesting. I could see
yeah.
that.
Little Mac, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Let's keep this Nintendo train rolling because our next piece of main news is that the Nintendo Switch has passed 132 million units sold, which is crazy. Like that's a lot of Nintendo Switches out in the wild.
Mm,
But along with this, we got some other stats about best-selling games and consoles. So here are the best-selling Nintendo consoles to date. The Nintendo DS sold 154 million units, which I thought about the Nintendo DS the other day because I remembered, like, oh yeah, there was one Christmas. My mom bought it for both me and my little sister. It was an awesome Christmas. Santa brought us Nintendo DSs. It was a good old time.
yeah.
Um, Second best selling is now the Switch at 132 million. Third, Game Boy at 118 million. Fourth is the Wii at 101, which honestly, I'm surprised the Wii isn't the top of this. Like that shows
Oh,
how much these other consoles have sold because the Wii, like, you couldn't find a Wii for months after it came out.
yeah. Yeah, but also the PlayStation 2, the big thing that drove that going forward was one, it was PlayStation, and two, um, well, it was the second thing from PlayStation, and then two was that it was a DVD player as well as a game console. Like that at the time, that was an amazing thought. Like, oh, I can listen to music, I can watch movies, I can play games on this. Like that was a very big thing. Uh, I I highly doubt that the Switch is going to pass the PS2. It, I don't think it'll catch the DS as well. The DS, everyone had a DS. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. The Switch though, hell of a console, really good. The Wii, the big problem with the Wii, the reason why the Wii isn't at the top of this list is because Nintendo went too casual with it. They were so focused on getting the casual crowd in. So like your grandparents would get it, your uncle who doesn't care about gaming had it, and all they had it for was Wii Sports. But that was those first couple winners that those people bought in, and that's why you couldn't find the console. As the years went on and everyone was like, okay, I don't need Wii Sports anymore, but people were still just putting out mini game collections and not really caring about it. Like that's why those sales dropped off so fast. It was massive though for just everyone getting into it. It's kind of like that thing with Pokemon Go, where like you and me will be playing it and you just see the most random people playing it. And you're like, wow, I would not really think of
Still,
you. Yeah, still to this day. That's how it was with the Wii. Uh, they people just heard Wii Sports. Okay, I can get around this. All I have to do is swing the remote. I don't have to remember these buttons. Like we look at an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller, we're like, yeah, this makes sense for gamers. We totally get this. But like someone who's never played a video game before or hasn't played a game since the Atari or NES, they look at a controller and like my dad, if he were to look at a controller, he'd be like, what do I do with all these buttons? It's too
yeah.
much.
God forbid you hand him a Xbox Elite controller with all the paddles on the back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, this Switch is selling like crazy. I'm excited to see what the next iteration of the Switch is because I'm, obviously the Switch is a great console. I have the OLED, you have the OLED. It's a great screen. I feel like that was a great mid-generation upgrade, even though it's not really that big of an upgrade. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, it was a great feature to add was the OLED screen.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I'm excited for what the next one has. And the
And
best-selling Switch games, to
yes.
nobody's surprise, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is at the top. But let's go from the bottom to the top, right? Number
Okay.
10, you have New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe at 16.7 million. Number 9, Tears of the Kingdom at 19.5 million units, which is crazy considering that game is only a few months old at this point. Um, 8 Super Mario Party at 19.66. Is Super Mario Party the newest one that came out? I
No,
always confuse.
no,
Okay, it was the first one.
the first one, yes.
What is the name of the newest one that came out that had online?
Mario Party Superstars.
Okay, yeah, I always confuse the two. Um, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sold 23.23 million units. Pokemon Sword and Shield at 26 million at number 6. Number 5 is Super Mario Odyssey at about 27 million. Breath of the Wild at number 4 at 31.15. Number 3 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at 32. Number 2 is Animal Crossing New Horizons at 43.38. That is one where when they announced that game, I would not have believed you if you told me this was like even in the top 5
Pandemic
because
effect.
COVID boosted that game so much. It's
Yep.
insane.
Yep.
And like Nintendo would have to be crazy to think going into whatever the next iteration of Animal Crossing is. They'd have to be crazy to expect anywhere near this amount of sales.
Yeah. No.
Granted, it probably will still do pretty good because I'm sure that there's a percentage of people that picked up Switches just to play this will probably still want to play a new game, but I'm sure most of those people have dropped off of wanting to play Animal Crossing.
The pandemic probably got Animal Crossing New Horizons about 30 million extra
That's that's
units
so
sold.
crazy. That
That's insane.
yeah, just a few 30 million.
Hmm.
And then number 1 Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 57 million units sold.
Yep.
The Switch is
Uh,
killing it, John.
yeah. So yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 57 million, obviously highest Switch ever. It's also the highest racing game ever. I think it passed that at like 32 million. So it's just completely crushed that. Um, Animal Crossing New Horizons, the previous best selling in that series was New Leaf at like 12 million. So, like I said, like 30 million from pandemic sales. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is getting a holiday bundle this year, so we can expect that to go up. Like you said, Tears of the Kingdom at almost 20 million within 6 months is insane. With this being its first holiday season, that's definitely going to leapfrog up to, I would say.
Oop, sorry, I hit the wrong button. But
Uh,
yeah, up on the screen now you can see the Smash console bundle that leaked the other day.
mhm.
It's the OLED version of the Switch with Smash Ultimate. I assume a digital code. And the Joy-Con is the same Joy-Con that they released with the limited edition console that was Smash themed. But
Yep.
the dock does not have the cool design that the limited edition Switch had. But I imagine that's because this is the OLED version, so the dock is technically different.
Yeah, the
Um,
dock is different. The Joy-Con are the same.
yeah. So yeah.
They just had to reprint them. Yeah. Pikmin 4 also that is the highest selling game in its series now at 2.5 million. Which Pikmin will never be on this list. It's just never gonna contend with any
No.
of this. It's never been a
Live
good
action
seller.
Pikmin though?
No. Um 2.5 million for this is really big. It's kind of like when Metroid Dread came out, and that one became the highest selling Metroid game at like 4 million. I had people like coming to me, they're like, "What? That's insane! This is getting such good reviews. It's like everyone's talking about it." And it's like, yeah, we're talking about it. No one outside of video games is talking about it. People outside of video games that don't care about this, kind of like with the Wii Sports discussion, they care about Mario Kart. During the pandemic, you had Elijah Wood playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. Like
Yeah.
that's it's when you can go beyond the gaming audience is when your game has truly made it.
Sorry, I had to yawn. But yeah, you're completely right. Let's go through these quick news, John. First
Yeah.
and foremost, happy N7 Day. It is November 7th today. BioWare has teased a Mass Effect game, which people are saying is likely going to be Mass Effect 4, is what people are calling it, but I guess we'll see.
So
The
people saying it
teaser,
was Epsilon or something.
So epsilon was like the code word, and epsilon is short for 5. Like that's like the 5th letter in the alphabet, and that this would be the 5th installment of a Mass Effect game. But people are calling this Mass Effect 4. I think mainly because they don't want
They
Andromeda
want to
back.
they want to forget that Andromeda exists.
Yeah. So the teaser trailer just shows what appears to be a woman walking down a hall, with like a siren going off, and then she stops, turns, pulls out a pistol, and then keeps walking. So
I really feel like this is well, of course, in 7 days, so they were going to do this regardless. But I also feel like BioWare's doing their best to just avoid the recent layoff news. And I saw that there's a protest going on with them or something and a lawsuit. So kind of a mess at BioWare.
I
Shocker,
mean,
right?
the Game Awards is in like a month, right? So
Hmm.
I would imagine we see this Mass Effect game there.
Probably,
I would
probably
guess
that.
to some
That's where it was.
capacity.
I think it was announced at last year's, wasn't it?
I don't
Well,
know.
it was teased.
Which is weird because I thought we would have seen Dragon Age before we saw this, but
I mean, at this point, I'm just assuming that Dragon Age
it's
restarted
gonna
development.
yeah, yeah.
I've
This
never
next
played Mass
one,
Effect, so I don't really care either way.
I'll let you think on because you started typing and it might have been when your computer was crashing.
Yes, it
But
was.
Resident Evil 4
Uh,
remake is coming to Apple devices in December. This is their attempt to continue releasing their games on like iPhone 15 and iPads. Um, yeah, talk about Night in the
literally,
Woods.
literally, the only person I've seen excited for that Resident Evil stuff is Chad.
I,
um,
I I don't even know if he's excited for it as much as he is just like interested to see how it runs because he's a big Apple guy.
mm,
But yeah, even still, like I don't think it's practical.
no. So the Night in the Woods successor game, I had it pulled up. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. I'll work on pulling that up here. It is canceled, and it is named. Come on, I forgot that I was putting that in when my computer froze. Revenant Hill. This is a game that was announced, I want to say, a year ago, and it's just an indie team working on it. But apparently, they had two high-profile names on their development team have some serious health issues pop up, and now the game is canceled, which is disappointing because Night in the Woods wasn't one of my favorite games, but it was a nice little indie game, and it sucks to see that uh, the studio hasn't closed down yet, but it looks like it might. So that's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
Yes.
Nickelodeon's All Star Brawl 2 is getting really good reviews for some reason. Even though the first one came out what feels like yesterday. The sequel is out now, I believe. And the reviews, it is sitting at a 79 on Metacritic,
Which is pretty
which
good.
is
Yeah.
very
It's
surprising.
it definitely makes it sound like the idea for a sequel was justified. Because when they first announced this, I was like, why not just work on the game that's already there? But from everything I've seen, I haven't played it yet. Everything I've seen, they have made legitimate improvements to the game. It's not going to contend with Smash Brothers because nothing ever will, but it's a much better game than the original was. So yeah,
Yeah,
if you want
apparently
to,
this sequel added like a story mode. I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about that. And it also added voice acting, which was one thing that a lot of people complained about in the first game.
that was I still can't believe they didn't have that in the first one.
Yeah, especially with
So
like
yeah,
somebody like SpongeBob. How are you not gonna have his fucking voice? He's gonna
right.
have weird grunts.
Well, it wasn't even that; it was just completely dead silent the entire time. I think
Oh, that's
so.
weird.
Yeah,
Next piece of quick news is that Microsoft is going to be banning third-party equipment on Xbox consoles. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because there's a lot of third-party controllers out there. And they're going to be banning not all third-party controllers, but specifically ones that aren't officially licensed.
yeah.
And officially licensed equipment goes through like a vetting process with Microsoft that pretty much they just make sure like, hey, you're not, using this device to hack the console. Like it's not gonna brick people's Xboxes by them plugging in. So I imagine that, like, anything you would go into a Target or GameStop to buy, you're probably fine, right? Even today, you're probably fine. But
There's gonna
it's the weird stuff where you search for an Xbox controller on Amazon, and there's one for $15 that's wired, and that you've never seen or heard anything about. I'm sure those things are gonna get your either account banned or frozen or whatever they're gonna be doing with this.
there's three big impacts from this. The first one is keyboard players. Your uh, like keyboard players on like games like Rainbow Six and Overwatch and Call of Duty. Uh, they're not really going to be able to play with their mouse and keyboard in a console setup anymore, which is a
No,
good thing in my
no,
opinion.
no. They will. They
They
just
they,
they will
it
have to
won't be
have.
as easy. They'll have to have the
Yeah,
specific thing.
yeah.
Um, this does affect disabled uh, groups quite a bit, but for the most part, those disabled groups should be using the the accessibility controller and other controllers that are licensed with Xbox. I've been seeing a lot of people worried about, oh, you're completely ruining accessible gamers, and I just don't really believe that. I think Xbox is very mindful about that. There was another one I was going to bring up, but I forgot. Yeah, so they're doing this. This isn't really completely out of left field. PlayStation does this already. They've been doing it for years. It just kind of is what it is.
It's not surprising.
No, makes sense.
Speaking of PlayStation, beginning next week, they are getting rid of their Twitter or X.com integration straight from the console. Basically, you used to be able to, and you still can on Xbox, but you could post like clips and screenshots straight to Twitter from the console. But I imagine this is something that Twitter asked them for money to be able to do, and PlayStation just said no.
Yeah, yeah. No, they Twitter changed up like the rules for like directing posts. I think companies that let you integrate to Twitter now are charging more per post or something. I don't know the exact rules. You can you can still just directly upload all your captures and stuff to your mobile phone and just save it and post it from there if you want to. It's just
Yeah,
you have to take a couple more steps.
I honestly don't mind doing it that way anyway. I think
Um,
that's how I prefer to do it because then you can actually type with your phone the post
mhm.
that you want to make instead of having to like scroll to each letter. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
John, let's move on to what we've been playing, and I want you to start with Skyward Sword because I remember you getting so frustrated with this game when it came out on the Switch, and you kind of just gave up on it. So I want to
It
hear like why are you back? What brought you back?
I was looking for a game to play while I was laying in bed, and I love my Switch, so I've been playing
Yeah,
Skyward Sword again.
you turned on your Switch and you said, "What can I play on here without getting up right now?"
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
that's the game.
That well, I was looking at games that I hadn't completed, and I was like, okay, Skyward Sword is one of the few games I haven't. It's one of the few Zelda games I haven't completed, and like you said, when it first came out, that was my first time playing it, and I was like, not a fan. Uh, I've put more time into it. I'm a few more dungeons into it now. I still am not a big fan of it. Um, I'm kind of just playing it to play it, but I don't hate it as much as I did before. So I guess that's good. At that beginning, the first, it's just so much dialogue, and I just hate Fee, the companion character. I can't stand her every time she comes up, and the instead of motion controls, I use the stick controls to swing my sword around, and I don't like that. It doesn't feel good. I'm sure the motion controls don't feel great either. Yeah, I just not the kind of Zelda game I want to ever see again. I'm gonna beat it. I'll uninstall it after I beat it and probably never touch it again. But I do want to at least say that I have beat it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me, right? Like there are Halo games that I don't particularly like Spartan Assault. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's like
Hmm.
the top-down shooter Halo game. I wasn't a big fan of it, but I played through the campaign. I couldn't even tell you what it's about anymore. But I finished it out just because I was like, I'm a huge Halo fan. I have to beat it just to say I did it, and that's kind of
Mm,
the same boat you're on right now.
yeah.
Um, yeah. One game I've been playing a little bit of is Halo Infinite. Ever since their big season 5 update, I've been playing here and there. It's a good game. Last night I was talking to John, and I didn't. So I launched the game to see if there was this new playlist that I believe is out today. Um, that is in partnership with Mountain Dew Game Fuel being back. That is a bunch of Halo 3 maps remade in Forge, all in one playlist for you to play. But it was not back last night. It's there today, so I might try that out tonight. But yeah, I decided to launch campaign just out of the blue because I don't think I've launched the campaign since like the week the campaign launched.
Hmm.
Just because I beat it and the game was like a little buggy at times, so I wanted to wait to go back. But yeah, I decided to go look up like some of the stuff that I missed, like some audio logs, and the skulls. And I just started doing one mission because there was an audio log and a skull that I had missed. And I played some of that. I didn't even finish it because I had to get off to go eat dinner. But I'm hoping that when I boot the campaign back up, I'm just in the middle of that mission. We'll see. I don't know how that works because I had to like click replay mission when I started. I don't know.
There's
I'm just not
probably
sure how it works. It
you're probably
also
at that check.
it wouldn't let me invite John, which I thought was weird. Like I
I
thought
think you have
I,
to do it in the menu.
yeah, but like I thought that we would be at a point in technology where if I'm playing campaign and it's a co-op game, I could just send you an invite, but apparently not.
I mean, that game didn't start out co-op, so who knows?
Yeah.
It
Who
it
knows?
is what it is. I downloaded Halo Infinite recently because I saw you were playing on it, and then I've been hearing good things from the recent update. All I did was go on campaign though too and grab some collectibles. I've heard good things about the new multiplayer stuff, but I just haven't touched it.
Yeah, I'm excited to play these Halo 3 remade maps in Forge. I've
Yeah,
been drinking Mountain Dew Code Red because they didn't have Game Fuel, so I bought Code Red instead, just to reminisce. But yeah,
it's because it's back, baby.
I want to buy Game Fuel because it has codes for Halo skins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about them
Um,
skins.
I started Ghost of Tsushima within the last week. I didn't really have anything to play, so I was like, you know what? Joel keeps telling me to play this. I'll
It's a good
give it a
game.
try. I'm probably about 3 hours in, I would guess, maybe four. Um, I'm not in love with it yet, but it seems pretty good. I'm not.
It's an Assassin's Creed game,
It, it is. It's a
more or
slower
less.
Assassin's Creed game, and that's not bad. Um, it's just kind of annoying. I'm not a big fan of the story so far, and I don't like the wind guiding you because it's just constantly swiping up on the touchpad for it to work.
That is annoying. I
Uh,
will agree that constantly swiping up on the touchpad was annoying,
yeah,
but
just like
I think, but it's like the only way they could have done it to be like I don't know. It was an interesting way at the
give me a
time for them
waypoint
to do
marker.
that. You just want a big arrow on the top of your screen.
Just yeah, just okay. When I swipe up, bring in the wind and let me see it. Okay, cool. All right, now where's the waypoint marker? Cool. I know where to go. I don't have to keep swiping up. I don't have to stop where I'm running and oh, okay, I went too far. I have to turn left now. Um, yeah, maybe I'll get into it more as I continue, but I'm kind of just mainlining the story at the moment.
Yeah, I mean that's fine, right? Like every game you play isn't going to be something that you go get all the collectibles and do everything in,
Yeah.
but
What else
it's
have
a
you
good
been
game.
playing?
I've been playing OG Fortnite. So OG Fortnite map came out last Friday, and I played a lot of it Friday and Saturday. I played with some friends who haven't even like really played Xbox at all, really since I don't know a few years ago. And they all got back on, and we played a bunch of Fortnite. It's fun. I still play Fortnite here and there, like every few weeks or every few months. Like I take breaks for sure, but I'm still like it's still a constant game that me and a few of my buddies want to play, and so we play. one night every few weeks or so. But the OG Fortnite map being back is just awesome because like we've been playing the game since it came out, so it's just cool to see all the spots back. Our old rotation, we always land Haunted Hills. That's where we always go. That's where we always will go on this map. It's a shame that it's only here for 1 month because it's a like short season that they're doing. Because most other seasons have been like I don't know how long, maybe 3 months, something like that. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I wish that they would just kind of take the World of Warcraft approach, where how they have like World of Warcraft and they have World of Warcraft Classic, and maybe just have it a separate game mode with the OG map. I don't. Why wouldn't they do that? Like, clearly, there's been a resurgence
Oh,
in player
the
base.
World of Warcraft thing, that's a completely different game.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying for Fortnite, I think they could just have it as
I
a
think
separate playlist.
what you so you're thinking the Apex Legends route more than World of Warcraft.
Yeah, where you could queue
That
into
makes sense.
different maps.
Yeah, no, I'd be fine with that. I mean, I don't care. I don't like Fortnite.
Yeah, and I think it would make sense too because like if you queue up for a ranked game, you won't necessarily know which of the two maps you're queuing up for. You know what I mean? Could be either. I don't know how they could do it,
It,
but
it's all
that
about scarcity. That's the reason why everyone's jumping on Fortnite now is because it's back and it's back only for this time.
in the shop right now sucks, John. So
Probably, it always says.
no, okay. So I say that meaning like last week before Fortnite OG, there was maybe 20 skins. There was a bunch of emotes every week. Every time it refreshed, it would bring new ones. And now there's only like 10 things on the shop every day. And it's like you would think that with all these people coming back, you would want all those skins and shit to be on there still because everybody's gonna want to buy stuff. Like my friends all got on there like, oh, what's the shop gonna have? Like, oh, I hope that there's some cool skins. And it was like the first day was like some super boring ass skin. And then like over the weekend they had 11 from Stranger Things. It wasn't that cool of a skin. But yeah, it's just like they need more variety on there right now. Like everybody's back. Like let them spend their money on your shit, dude. Um, but I've been having fun with it. I love Fortnite. It's a dumb fun game.
My last game I've been playing is I got back into Diablo 4. I've been just kind of grinding away at side content. I've finally hit level 50 with my sorcerer, and I'm not touching the season content because you have to make a new character for that. And I'm just not grinding away at that. Just not doing it. So I'm sticking with the main stuff at the moment. I started doing nightmare dungeons today. I'm really focusing on this Tree of Whispers thing that just keeps giving me good gear. I'm feeling much more powerful. When I hit level 50, it was this weird thing where I would just like wasn't getting good gear at all, but it was more powerful than what I already had, so I kind of had to eventually swap it out. But it wasn't like legendary gear that gave the extra perks or anything. But now that I'm doing this tree stuff, I'm starting to get that. So I'm feeling powerful again. Yeah, I'm just going around. I'll put on a podcast and just do all this stuff. I've got all the altar Lilith done. I'm working on raising my renown in each place, and yeah, who knows how long I'll keep playing that. But I'm enjoying it. Just kind of wasting time.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's interesting that you're not playing the season stuff because like that's why people are still playing the game. And like for me, I never. That's why I never went back. It's because I don't
I
want to
don't
make
want
a
to
new
start
character
over.
and grind it.
I want to use
Um,
my character. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
did.
I
I
get it.
did make a character for each class, so I could get their specific achievements done. So like all of them are like level 7 around that area. But I'm like, yeah, I had fun playing these, and I'd be interested in getting to play them more. But I don't want to start over. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's exactly why I never went back when
Yeah.
the first season started. The last game I've been playing is the finals. The beta just ended the other night, I believe. Um, but yeah, I was hopping into that with Chad, Dallas. I don't know if I played with Matt, but I know Matt was playing. I played with Audrey a few games. That game is fun. I don't know why I enjoy it so much, but I think it's a lot of fun. Granted, that's like you got to put an asterisk on that because like that game could come out and not come out with a new map or new mode or anything for a year or even 3 months, and I could get real bored of it. Like that's the kind of game where like I haven't looked into what their plan is for launch in terms of like how many different maps and stuff there will be. But in the beta, there was only 2 maps, and even then, I was just getting a little bored just because is only 2 maps, right? Like you're gonna get bored of that regardless. But I feel like that's pretty standard for a beta, right? You get bored of betas pretty quickly. I feel like. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for this game to come out. I hope that it has legs. I hope they support it. I hope it doesn't have some sort of bullshit like monetization where I go into a game and it feels like I'm just getting slaughtered because somebody bought a $50, bundle on the store or something stupid. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for it to come out. I'm excited to keep playing. We'll see, I
I only
guess.
I only played one match of it, and maybe it'd be better if I played with some friends, but wasn't
100%.
too I wasn't too impressed by it in the one match I played.
100% better with friends. And like the ex Dice devs working on the game, it's so obvious because like everything just can just crumble. Like we brought the money back to the I don't know what we even bank it in. I don't know if it's a safe or what it is. But basically you're defending it at that point, waiting for the timer to count down so that you get the money. Um and we were up on some like floating platform thing and these dudes blew it to pieces and we all went crashing down to the ground. It was crazy. It was so cool.
Cool.
But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for the show this week, John.
Hmm.
We didn't
I'm
do a show
hungry.
last week. I forgot to mention because I had jury duty all week. I was on a jury and it sucked. It sucked. That's all I'm gonna
Joel
say
the
about it.
Juror.
Juror Joel reporting for duty. Juror number 17. But yeah, thanks so much for watching and listening to the show. As always, follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Check out the pin tweet there where you can find links to all of our social media accounts, including a link to join our Discord server. Come say hey. Just tell us what you're playing. Send us pictures of your dog. Send us screenshots from games you've been playing. Yeah, follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube at Pixel Street Videos. That's where we post all of our podcasts, let's plays, unboxings, and we stream the show live. Typically on Wednesdays, but this week we're doing a little early because I'm busy the rest of the week. Yeah, you can give us a review wherever you're watching or listening. We appreciate any and all feedback, so let us know how we're doing. You can find me on Twitter at Campo63 or twitch.tv/Campo63. John, where are you on the World Wide Web?
On Twitter, I am at Revek Shadows, and you can find my rating on GameSandwich.com.
Cool. We will be right back here next week with episode 247 of the Pixel Street Podcast.
Bye.